about tribes and matching the worldview. And you talked to us. I was one of the entrepreneurs that came to your office. Talk about worldview.
Worldview, George Lakoff's term, is something that people adopt that causes them to see the world through a certain filter. And so two people are watching the presidential debate, and it's the same debate. And at the end of the debate, you ask them what happened. One person will say one thing, and the other person will say the opposite. How did that happen? It's because we carry worldviews with us. One person walks past a homeless guy in the street and gives him 20 bucks. Another person walks past the same guy and gives him nothing. It's not because of how much money they have in the bank. It's about the way they process what they see, the story they tell themselves, the expectations and the shortcuts and the lies, all part of our worldview. And tribes are nothing but collections of people who share a worldview and probably a goal. So the worldview of the people in the Star Wars tribe tends to align. And if you put someone from the Sopranos tribe in the Star Wars tribe, it's just not going to work. So when you're a business person or a politician or a religious leader and you look in the world and you say, bring me everyone, I want more, you're saying exactly the wrong thing. What you need to say is, among people of this worldview, I want to tell a story, a true story, that resonates with them. Those people are going to hate this story. I have to shun the non-believers. They're not part of this. But this group, this newly aligned group who has found each other online or found each other at a meetup or found each other at the mall, this group, I can take them somewhere. I can lead them by telling them a story and through my actions showing them where to go.
That's it. Thank you. I've worked in technology, as did PR, the old mass way, okay? And grew up doing the old marketing, in charge of advertising agencies, all of that. So it's refreshing for me to stay current and embrace this change. I'm not afraid of it. I'm interested in it. It just sometimes goes faster than I can consume. So what I see is coming. There's just infinite social ways that we're going to get connected. I love crowdsourcing, but what are you excited about most?
I'll talk about crowdsourcing for a minute. In almost every corporate setting, crowdsourcing is currently a gimmick because the people who are doing it don't understand. When they say, make us a commercial for Doritos and we'll put the best commercial on the Super Bowl, that's a gimmick. That's not the crowd coming together to make Wikipedia or Linux, right? That what we're seeing is there are a huge number of people who want to be heard. There are a huge number of people who want to contribute, particularly to their tribe. And the lack of ego required to crowdsource is too overwhelming for most organizations. And as soon as you insist on control, then you're not crowdsourcing. So if companies are getting a little skeptical about it, I think that that's valid, but it's because you've been doing it wrong. And what we see is that when we truly let go and create just the sufficient, but no more than that, boundaries for productive work to happen, then crowdsourcing can work. I don't think it's a panacea, and I'm sure it's not corporate.
Fascinating, yes, because I've been looking at what platforms are out there, especially for raising money. ProFounder, you can raise money now among your friends, family to start a business. And you talked a little bit about charity and the changes. So it's obvious, been long talking about the Acumen Fund and what good works they do, and recently malaria. Are you going to be talking about more of digging into why people aren't giving or this apathy that's out there?
Well, it's interesting. There's a long, long history back to the Bible of people only giving to their tribe. The ban on usury, on interest, was really clear, which is you couldn't charge interest to someone in the tribe, the 50, but you could charge interest to a stranger all day long, because interest pushes people apart. Bank, loan, right? Whereas a gift, something where you just share the money, brings people together. So charity has always been about the tribe. Where we get into fascinating, interesting trouble is what happens when the whole world is a tribe. What happens when I can see someone dying right before my eyes 4,000 miles away, right? And I fear that in our selfish industrial economy, what many people have told themselves is, if I give a little to charity, I'll feel guilty that I didn't give a lot. And I don't want to give a lot. So I'd rather give nothing. Wow. And so the worldview of a lot of people is, don't talk to me about that because it makes me uncomfortable. And the reason it makes me uncomfortable is I will feel inadequate if I know that someone died because I had a second dessert at dinner, right? That people don't want to carry that around with them.
Right.
And I feel badly ruining your evening. But on the other hand, if it's not me who's going to do it, someone else is, because the world keeps crowding in. The tribe keeps getting bigger. And it's really hard to have a good night's sleep when there's someone in the tribe who's suffering. And so this alignment that we're going to have to get our arms around is, what tribe do you actually belong to? How big is your bubble? What are you exposing yourself to? And I don't know the answer at all. I just know that, we're sort of finding our way as we try to figure out what to do next.
That's fascinating. And I hope for the best that the more we can see maybe change that we've helped fund. I see that's another thing. And if I could see the woman in the Congo or Afghanistan, and find out what really happened for her, I'll keep giving. But if I can't see her or have some experience, then
I'm not sure I buy that. If you talk to someone who has 1,000 records, or like I have 2,000 CDs in my house that I bought one at a time. How many bad CDs in a row do you need to buy before you stop buying CDs? Right? You just keep buying them. So when people say, yeah, well, I'd give more to charity if I could see if it really worked, that's just nuts. Because we do all sorts of things every day with our money that doesn't really work. We put one more nickel in the slot machine. We go on one more blind date. We open one more new bottle of wine. We listen to one more new CD. Nowhere along the way are we saying, oh, that one wasn't as good as the wine I had 4 years ago.
I'm going to stop. Yeah.
Right? So, I've seen firsthand it working, but I have to tell you, I'm more likely to give when I see it not working.
Well, here's my example.
See it not working, that's when you have another shot at making a difference.
Well, when I saw what it was doing, we gave $10,000. We went deeper. Do you see what I mean? So I'm saying, and
you're very special.
And this other journalism department at a giant university was not about to get weird and give it to single moms. So I went to where they would do that. Right. And we gave a lot more. So, anyway, well, thank you so much for your time.
A pleasure.
And really, a pleasure for me too, honestly. Thank you. My tribe is overjoyed. So, until next time, bye.